I'm already ranting and we haven't gotten started yet. This is going to be a good one. This is going to be a spicy one today. I didn't even want to do this. What was it, at 11 o'clock? I was walking around like a lost puppy looking for something to do. I was ready to leave, and then the old youngies over there, the media team, took me over to Mission Barbecue, got me remotivated, got me a blue cream soda, blue frosty cream soda. I'm ready. Let's go. Doesn't even have any caffeine in it. Got me a little water that I can sip on.
All right, so we have a couple people already asking the same question. So I guess today the day to order your iPhone 12. Did you do that?
I can't.
You can't?
I want the freaking baby one. I want the big one. So I got to wait till November 6th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So there you go, Jordan again. And
yeah, so I'll get the
Jason.
Max. Get the Max on November 6th when that comes out. I was always the small phone guy, and then I finally said, you know what, let me just try the Max. Now, once you go out there, you can't go back. So, and I don't have like a real job where, like, if I still had a real job where I was like carrying around in my fancy pants pocket, I would go back to the small one. But now I'm just I'm gramming it up, Instagramming it up, and Snapchatting it up. So I gotta make sure that I'm ready for the Twitters. So I need a big screen for that.
All right, let's see. Matt wants the 12 Pro Max. Yes, that thing is huge. How much bigger is it? Do you know?
I think it's the same body size, but it's like 2/10, or is it 6.5 instead of 6.1 or something like that? 6.7 instead of 6.5, so it's 2/10 bigger.
Gotcha. All right, let me get into a couple questions here. Some detailing questions first. We'll start with that to keep the detailing people interested before we get you ranting and raving about Thanksgiving.
Graphene.
Dishes.
Let's do some graphene.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Oh, Lord.
Graphene questions. One more question related to the iPhone 12 here. So when you get it, what do you do with the old phone? Do you turn it in? Do you give that to someone else in the family? How does
Michelle
that work?
came up with a genius plan here to save me a bunch of monies. She's going to get this one. But normally what I do is I just trade it in. And you get like the whatever $400 or $500 back or something like that. But yeah, I just get a new one every time. People get all bent out of shape about a phone, but think about this. You use this more than anything in your freaking life, so spend some money on it. Get the best that there is. That's the way I look at it.
All right, so there you go, John. Michelle gets that one. And then what does Michelle do with hers? Is that going to sell that?
Yeah, hers is usually run into the ground by then. Speaking of which, she just arrived here. What is she doing here?
Maybe she wants to be on the podcast.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, let's see. Let me get to a couple detailing questions here. Well, this one actually, before we get to that, I wanted to bring this up because this came from our friend Brian out in California. His latest chase is home security cameras. He's interested in a system without one of those stupid monthly subscription fees, but I want alerts on my phone and my own on-site storage system. I don't want some piss-poor $20 crap camera. I'm not sure if this is in your wheelhouse, Matt, but I'd be interested to hear your thoughts and opinion.
Yeah, check out Avigilon. That's what Ramel was always talking about. Avigilon cameras, Avigalon. And then, of course, Ubiquiti. You get a Ubiquiti Dream Machine, can become your network security, your network router. Buy yourself a 6 or 8 terabyte hard drive, pop it in there, use Unify Protect, doesn't cost anything. And you can set it all up. So,
all right, there you go.
Uh-oh, we got a visitor. You got a visitor. Chase, come here, buddy. Come here, buddy. What's he doing? He's going to eat your food over there. Oh, he's ripping into it. Come here, buddy. Come on. Come up here. Come see me. Come see me.
This is the guy who said he'd never have a dog.
Yeah, no, I got a freaking dog. Look at this guy. What you doing, buddy? What you doing, buddy?
This is Chase. You may have heard of Chase before.
This dog doesn't come here. Michelle, you just heard me say she came to HQ. Don't bite the thing. All right. He gets so fired up when he's here. Normally he's pretty chill.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Hey, Michelle.
Hi.
You want to say
Give
hi
that
to
dog a
everyone on
bath.
the
He
podcast?
smells. How did I end up with a dog, man? This is crazy.
Next thing, you're going to be drinking coffee in your car.
I like that, in the car.
Yep. In that left-hand cup holder.
I'll have to relocate my cell phone mount holder. I don't even like cell phone mount holders, but that Renline one is awesome for the GT3. Makes me feel like I'm in a cockpit of a fighter jet.
All right, so here's a detailing-oriented question from our friend Jonathan on Instagram. How much better does a product need to be to really justify jumping on the bandwagon? Graphene is the sexy buzzword today.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen previous negative trends like quick detailer and how everyone was obsessed with every product changing color somehow.
Mm-hmm.
But other trends like the shift from the Porter Cable DA to the Flex and Rupes DA polishers are going from boutique waxes like Zymol Royale and vintage to ceramic coatings, which represented real steps forward. So when do you think the hype is justified?
I don't. The bandwagon is the perfect term. Don't ever jump on the bandwagon because it's almost never right. Think about it in anything, in diet fads or investments or anything like that, where everybody else is in on it. You probably want to do the opposite. Be fearful when others are greedy, and vice versa. And so the same thing with detailing. You look at the coatings. When you had A quartz and then original C quartz and original Opti coat and a lot of these different original products I didn't think they looked very good. Actually, some of those original products are more durable than the current products. The only problem is you could never get it off without sanding it off the car. Some of those were just, if you did it wrong, you'd ruin the whole darn car. So I think almost never is the fad a great thing. Bead maker is kind of a weird example because I kind of created that. Actually, Levi created it by telling me about it, and then I, opened up the floodgates there. But bead maker is not a transcendent, game-changing product. It's just a old product that it's a couple of years old that does okay, does a decent job and does what it's supposed to do. But there's no promises, and so that's what you have to look at is promises. Graphene doesn't water spot. Bull crap. It's the same product as a freaking regular coating, so bull crap, it doesn't water spot. Hybrid special super duper silicon dioxide spray, that's all you need. You don't need a regular coating. Bull crap. I mean, turtle wax ice is just forget all this junk. But he's right. That's a very good example of talking about Rupes, the transition to long throw DAs. But notice that didn't happen overnight. It took years for that transition to take footing. It took years for people to learn how to use it. It took years for them to figure out how to get pads to work with it because they'd blow apart pads because the pads that existed at the time weren't good enough. It took years for people to figure out how to really use microfiber on a DA machine, a long-throw DA machine. And so the same thing happens with any product, that it takes years for it to take footing. And chances are anything that just launches like that and becomes the fad of the hour, chances are it's not going to be the thing. That would be my advice. And that's why you never see me getting excited about any of it. And in fact, actually, you get me excited about it, but in the opposite direction of get out of here with that bull crap.
All right, this is a comment, not a question, here from Nick on Facebook. Just wanted to say that CSL on black trim, especially textured trim, is a game changer. The added richness is just perfect. Thanks for the tip, Matt. So he'd asked a week or two ago about that. So good to know. That's good advice.
I wasn't listening, but okay, go ahead. Next one.
Let's see. Here's a good question from Jerry when it comes to the Raptor. Hey guys, is there an OG spec step stool you use when washing the Raptor?
I never bought one, but you need like the Wagner platform. It's like a one-step platform bench thinger. Rex had some other one. You just go to Home Depot and you get one of those. It's like a platform for painters. Where it's like one of those. They're like usually 6 feet long and like
it unfolds and goes down.
Yeah, 2 feet to 3 feet high. That's what I think you need. The only problem with those, they're a little slick. So what I should do is I should get one of those and buy some skateboard grip tape and learn how to modify it. The problem is grip tape would probably, having it wet all the time wouldn't do so well. But figure out something like that, some sort of tread system that you would use on stairs would be really cool.
All right,
I'm gonna add that to my list.
All right. Another Raptor question here for you from Bigfoot286 in the chat. How is the Gen 1 Raptor holding up? I want to correct and coat my 4Runner, but it's an off-roading truck, so I'm not going to try and maintain it like a Porsche.
Well, coating it would be great. I mean, it'll stay, because I don't wash the truck very often, especially since Michelle ruined it by running into a big giant bowl. So, I haven't washed it since, and the oil light is on. It needs oil change. I just, I've given up. I don't touch it anymore. Rex cleans it every once in a while.
But you coated it, right? That was the series we had a little while back.
Yeah, so it'll hold up. I just figured out, Civic's going to have to get compounded or some sort of overspray all over it. Probably from the stereo place, being they're probably painting stuff in there and sat there for several months. So I kind of figured I would do like a touch-up at the end of it, but I'll probably just do a quick light polishing it off and decon, and then add another coat of XO or something like that to it.
All right, this is coming from Alan in the chat. Wants to know, are there plans to spec the Active VE52 pressure washer, provide quick disconnects and such? The reason I ask here, it's been hard to find quality connectors due to the 15 millimeter size versus the standard 14. So
no.
Yeah, we haven't done that, but AR and Sunjo both have 15 millimeter.
Yeah, so it's the same thing.
Yeah, so email support at Obsessed Garage. They can get you hooked up with what you need, because we do have that stuff. People want to know, did you coat the dog yet? Chase needs a strip wash / decon. Is the dog graphene coated by chance? No, I don't think so. Or a wash and talk with Chase anytime soon. The dog is popular.
It's not my dog. I'm not washing that dog. I don't feed him. I don't wash him. I don't walk him. I just pet him. That's it. That was the requisite.
All right, let's see. We have a couple questions about product shortages here from Raymond in the chat, and then also our friend Adam from Gonzo Detailing in Chicago. Matt, how's the supply chain doing for detailing products?
I think they're pretty well caught up. I mean, the biggest issue was sprayers, which is still a little bit of a holdup. But bottles have been fine, caps have been fine, product is finally sort of caught up. Rupes appears to be caught back up. So
yeah, for the most part, some of our suppliers are still 2 and 3 weeks out when we place an order.
Mm-hmm.
They're just kind of playing catch up, but it's getting closer to back to normal.
Yeah, in Rupes production, a lot of it, they're in Italy, which went nutty when the pandemic happened, and then the other productions in Denver, which they didn't work for a really long time, because Denver's just an extension of California. So, they're sort of locked down a lot longer than other places, and so it took them a long time to catch up to the backlog. Combine that with a massive need, and a massive, amount of purchasing online, purchasing of, cleaning and detailing products, and people were sitting at home for several months in some places. So, the Rupes took the longest. The other thing is the big stuff, like cabinets. Cabinets have been difficult getting things over from China, and things that supply chain backlog has taken a lot longer.
All right, Matt wants to know from here in the chat, do you have any more thoughts on the GSF? Have you used it again recently?
Yeah, it's the soap. But just wait. Wait for me. Don't go buy it from everybody else. Just hold tight, because you want a gallon. You don't want a freaking 1 liter. And without me, we wouldn't be getting gallons anytime soon. So I'm saying, look, this soap is useless without gallons. So we're gonna get a 5 liter and a 20 liter, and so it's happening. We're gonna make it happen.
All right, we have a super chat here from SC1. Wants to know, what's the OG spec shampoo and body wash?
Yeah, I don't care at all. OG Spec shampoo is Irish Spring.
Look at his hair.
And just whatever is on sale at Publix.
There you
or
go.
not. Whatever.
Are you body wash or are you soap?
No, soap. Soap. Just a bar, no rag. Just a bar and a very specific method.
Gotcha. No loofah?
No.
Specific method.
Yeah. Like a very
The right
specific
order.
procedure, but I'm not going there. Shoot.
So thank you, SC1. There you go. Sorry we couldn't help you out with a fancier shampoo. Bumble and Bumble if you want something really fancy, though. Danny wants to know, after seeing a couple guys on YouTube tour Manny Koshbin's garage, I'm intrigued by his lighting set. Thin, flush-mounted lighting running the length of the room. What do you think of that? So I have it. That's kind of what it looks like there.
Yeah, that's probably not very good lighting.
No, you don't think that's something you're...
Nope. You need more lighting. What about all those gaps between the layers of light? Yeah, that would probably be a light calc type room, right? So if you go with lighting calcs, and that place probably had a like a lighting technician or whatever you want to call it, a lighting expert come in and light it. I just don't. It's not that I don't trust what they're doing. It's just usually I prefer more light than what a lighting calc would say you'd want. Which is like what is it, like 75-foot candles at 6 feet or something like that. There's lighting calculators that tell you what you need, and so those appear to be some sort of LED troffer type light, recessed light. So I'm looking into stuff like that, but that particular thing doesn't look well lit enough for me. That's more of ambient light than it is like working light. But yeah, something like that is really cool. That probably costs $75,000 to do that lighting in there, probably, depending on what kind they used. Whether it was something good or something really generic. I would assume they'd use something of high quality, like Cree or something like that in there.
All right, got a couple questions for you about your garage that you mentioned here recently. This is from Peter on Instagram and Facebook. Will the new house garage eventually replace the need for current OGHQ when it comes to content / marketing, making videos and such?
No. Yeah, I can't have like 15 cars in my house. I guess I could, but I don't want to. This is for me, and I'm sure I'll shoot videos there and do stuff there, but no, media is going to stay in this building. I'll always have a building like this where Obsessed Garage, where all the media stuff goes down, the product testing and all of that, and then my house will get the best of the class, best of the things that I'm working on. For instance, all of those sonic tools will end up at my house in my full sonic tool set, and then whether or not we sell the full set or some maybe more. A set that was of more necessity than excess. So my garage is where that stuff is going to go. And like I said, I'll be shooting videos there, I'm sure, but I'm not putting like the podcast studio is going to go in here. The unboxing area is going to go in here. We're always going to have, like, if I get a mounting and balancing system, that's going to go here, that kind of stuff. And so that's the plan. And what we're going to do next week, our live stream is going to be, I'm going to share the home designer version of my quick design and talk you through what I'm thinking. It's super helpful when people sort of give tidbits. I don't think I've changed anything yet, other than I'm probably going to make the wash bay area a little bit longer that somebody suggested, but I don't intend on or I don't know exactly what, like the staircase. I just kind of janked together in this home designer software, but the architect is probably going to put a landing area and stuff like that. So he'll figure out structurally what sort of trusses do we need and all that stuff.
All right, quick question here in the chat from Brendan. Matt, what's the pouring cap thingy you put on your gallons? I can't seem to find those anywhere.
It's just it sucks, but so I wouldn't try to get it. But it's a Griot's spout from Griot's garage.
Is that kind of the only thing there's out there?
Yeah, but it makes a bigger mess than it's worth. You're almost better off just getting a funnel and dumping it out of the regular tip. I've tried so many things, the pumps, the different spouts, all these different things, and none of it ever works right.
All right, speaking of tools, had a couple tool questions here. One from Adam. Tool cart. Matt has used a tool cart now in a few episodes. How does he like it, and would he make any modifications to it?
Yeah, I don't love it, but it gets in the freaking way. That's the problem that I hate about it, is there's nowhere to put it. So I have this tool cart, and then I've always got it just sits there. I feel like it's always in the way. It's just a sonic tool cart. And, it's kind of nice to have it sometimes, but I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. Because it ends up being like a big hodgepodge of crap on top of it. I don't know. But it's better than laying it on the floor, I guess.
All right, related to that, Jeff's detailing says, Matt, will we ever see an OG spec toolbox set offered in the future?
Yes. That's what I'm working toward. To have complete, progressive solutions on all these things. That's the whole point of the tools, that, I was trying to get my point across in the video, and apparently that didn't land very well with the 12-year-olds that believe everything they see on YouTube. My argument, or what I'm not argument, but what I'm attempting to do here is to take complete, like, let's just say Sonic. I just picked some tools, right? And the reason why I picked the Sonic tools is because I love their organizational system, and so they're in that upper echelon of tools. And so Snap-on's organization, they don't have anything. It's garbage. Mac Tools doesn't have anything. Plus, they have 3 layers of margin. They have they have, because they don't really make much. They have their private label where they get manufactured. So there's 1 layer of margin, and then they have the margin that they sell the stuff to the guys in the truck, because they all have their own little independent businesses. And then you have the margin for the truck guy. So you got 3 levels of margin on a tool, whereas Sonic, you only have 2, and so you have less, less margin. You take out the truck guy, and so the tools are of similar ilk. Maybe you may or may not be just as good. Some of the tools are a little better, some are a little worse, but in general, the tools are nice. And so I picked them because of their organization system. It's not the same when you take the picture and you have someone send you a foam inlay. I'm telling you, it's not very good. I don't like that way of doing it. You waste a lot of space. It takes a lot of effort and a lot of engineering, a lot of trial and error, a lot of SolidWorks in order to figure out what's a really efficient foam inlay for a particular drawer size. And so we take that, and what I was struggling with, this is the same thing with Milwaukee, is that they've got like 300 or 400 different foam inlay combinations, but they don't have like the everything combination. Well, I want to know what tools am I missing? What do I not have? And yes, vast majority of them are going to be redundant, and I'm not going to use them. But what if there's something great in there and I don't know about? There's only one way to find out. So you can sit there and shop the catalog, which I do better than anyone. I should sit there and look at the catalog and search the website and just think about it, and then it's even better. So imagine you or me, and you could say, well, I'm going to spend all this money up front, but then I'm going to make a profit off of that. It's a longer tail because I have to then execute and create the products, but in the store, and then teach people how to make the videos and do all that stuff. But imagine you were me, and you could say, well, Mr. Sonic Tools, I want every tool you make. Don't hold back. Just send them all to me. And so I got every tool with the exception of the 1-inch stuff, the 1-inch size drive, 1-inch drive stuff. So send them all to me. We still have 180 that we're waiting on. So actually, I guess technically I only got 1,700 tools or whatever. And so we got 1,894 tools to then touch and feel. And then I initially pulled out like a few hundred of them. And, we're missing 121 tools, and there's 180 tools that I pulled out that I'm not going to put in the package, or put in the ultimate package. Not going to put in my drawers. Just ones that just didn't make sense. I didn't like, or they were extremely, extremely redundant. Like there were 3 different sets. Like Allen keys, I eliminated a lot of those because they have a lot of different Allen key options. And then from there, I'm going to dumb it down to, what's the essentials. Like what's like the $500 I have to have kit, and then work my way up the line. And so then, like a few 12-year-olds, it gets me so fired up when they do this. I need to just let it go. They're like, so the Goon Squad is able to put together a car from start to finish with Harbor Freight tools. So, in other words, they're saying, you suck. These kids are way better. They get way more views. Blah blah. And that's the argument from some of the other 12-year-olds that you don't need all that. Well, of course I don't need all that, you dumbo. You think I don't know that? I want it. Nobody needs a Ferrari that's going to be driving around the street. Nobody needs a 700 horsepower car, but wouldn't you want that if you could get it? Heck yeah, you could, if that was something that was of interest to you. And so I'm going to get every tool, and I hope I never use any of them. I hope they just sit there, because then I don't get greasy and dirty. And so in my world, that makes me better, not worse. Like, I just hate that blue collar argument that that like you're worse because you don't do what they would hope to do if they had it, which of course they don't. Well, if I had those tools, I would get them all dirty and greasy. Well, no, you wouldn't, because you'd have a better car that you didn't need to jack up. So it frustrates the heck out of me. has nothing to do with Goon Squad. I'm sure they're nice guys. And my argument to them was, well, you're comparing like apples to octopuses here. It's a totally different thing. And they're putting janky cars together, so that's not even a good argument. Because at the end of the day, you can't take a car from the junkyard and turn it into something great. It doesn't work that way. I can barely make the Civic that was darn near perfect when I got it great, and it's been it's been $10,000 more than the thing's worth. So how are you going to take some junkyard $1,800 Lamborghini and turn it into gold with Harbor Freight tools in your garage at 12 years old? It's not going to frickin' happen, dumbos. Stop believing everything you see and use your frickin' head. And you're like, you're so arrogant. I'm like, oh. No, you're just so stupid that it makes me angry. Call me angry. I'm angry about your stupidity. So stop this nonsense. And then people are like, oh, you're losing me because you're just getting too rich and too much. I'm literally buying these tools and taking the risk so that I can make a $300 tool package. What do you think I'm doing here, you idiot? You're so stupid. God. It's like... I'm telegraphing. I'm telling you exactly what I'm doing. Oh, you're getting too big for your britches there, you arrogant. Be more humble.
You need some more water over there.
I need to sip on some more water. So stop this freaking dream that you're going to get a car. The reason why everybody watches this stuff is everybody has this dream. I'm gonna get this $800 Chevy S10, and it's gonna magically transform into a Lamborghini with a $12,000 investment. No, absolutely not. Especially since these people don't even know how to use a vacuum cleaner. So how in the world are these cars turning out great? They're not. They might drive down the road, and for most people, that's all they care about. That's fine. Just don't compare me to that. I want freaking 1,894 tools, and I don't want to use them. So there. Is that what you want me to admit? I freaking said that in the beginning. Who the heck wants to use tools? Tools are there as a means to solve a problem. The problems that I don't want to have. God. I just want the tools.
All right, so we'll segue.
End of story.
Segue from that. Our friend Seth up in Chicago here. Hey, man, Chris, have you had enough time with the GT4 yet to start to think about if it is different enough from the GT3 to warrant having both?
It is. Yep. Yeah, it's good. I like it. I'm keeping it.
All right, a related GT4 question from Ali on Instagram. After driving the GT4, is there anything you don't like about it?
Not really. There's a lot of clicking and clanging kind of weird noises that make you kind of have to ignore it. Like when you start it up or turn it off, just sitting there going click, 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 making all kinds of weird electronic noises and stuff. No, I mean, I think the 981 sounds better this one than this one does, even after we get all the exhaust stuff figured out. But I like it, man. I think it's a great car. It's a lot of fun. I find myself not wanting to wash it and put it in the bubble and get the GT3 out right now because it's new and I just put the exhaust on it, and that made it a lot more fun. So it's I'm enjoying it. I think it's going to stay, and I think it is different enough that it can stay, and you can own both.
All right, Raymond wants to know if Kranzles are in stock. Yes, they are. They're going out pretty quickly.
I think the 1622s are due in the week, but I think all the others are in stock. So the 1622 TS, which no one in their freaking right mind should ever buy, unless you're mobile and you don't have a powerful enough generator, or you have an old house and there's just no way you're going to get be able to get a 20 amp capability. The 1322, absolutely, that's the one to buy.
All right, and I just looked. Yesterday is when the GT4 driving video came out. So if you haven't seen that,
yeah,
yet,
and
go
it's a
check that
freaking
out.
disaster. The GoPros, I don't know what the heck's going on. So I bought the Hero 9, and I did the firmware update. I shouldn't have done that, 'cause as soon as you do the firmware update, then it renders the external mic capability useless. So I plug the mic in, and you don't know if it's plugged in or not. So I plug it in, and this was in the Civic video the other day, and I'm chatting away, having a good old time, and the audio is only coming out of, it's only recording on the GoPro. So then I got my Hero 7 back out and plugged in the mic thing, and it freaking GT4 video, the mic that didn't work. So I got to shoot another one. So people are like, that's another thing. Oh, it makes me so. It's like 1 out of 1,000, but that one gets me. The audio on this channel sucks. It's all over the place. Because 2 of the last 100 videos or 1,000 videos had some funky audio. Probably having funky audio today because I'm screaming into the microphone with anger. But
sorry, listeners.
So shut your face. Keep your mouth shut. You think I don't know that? You know, when I look at the footage, I'm like, God dang it, the freaking microphone didn't work. I know. So shut your mouth. Idiots.
Dean, keen observation from Dean, says, have you got an OG spec haircut, Chris? I got my haircut today, actually, at lunchtime. I go number 2 all the way around, though. You probably use
What
a
do
1.
you mean you get your hair? Just go cut it yourself. It takes 2 seconds.
I don't want to cut my own hair.
Yeah, I don't want to go somewhere and have someone wait in line, sit in the thing, and how much tip am I going to give them? And then I got to walk around with hair all over me all day. I just cut it in
your shower?
No, or like on the floor. Ryan cuts it for me. And then I have to recut it because he usually messes it up. But
there you go. Maybe I'll train Caroline to cut my hair.
Yeah.
C-Mac says, if I'm looking for a great quality stereo home theater setup for a small house, would Dyne Audio be my best bet?
No.
And then amplifier requirements follow up there.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, you're going to be a lot of money in. The entry level Dyne Audio stuff, I don't think I'd prefer over some others. I don't know what I'd even do at this point. I mean, I have Revel speakers in my home theater. Klipsch is always a fun, not an amazing sounding option, but Klipsch is always a fun home theater type speaker if you don't listen to a lot of music, just because it's super efficient. I like Yamaha amplifiers or receivers, Yamaha over Marantz. I think Yamaha sounds better and functions better. Makes a little more sense. But I stay away from the kind of the weird, like the heavy marketing stuff, like Definitive Technologies and stuff like that. The other speakers that look interesting to me that aren't super expensive would be like SVS. They have some cool subwoofers and some neat looking speakers. I've never actually heard any of them, but I'd always try to find some Silk Dome stuff if I could. Even like entry level B&W, entry level Dyne Audio. They're not great, they're just okay, and you're paying more for those. Until you get into the high end, then someday I'd love to have a high end set of like Dyne Audio Contour 60s or something, but they're like $60,000 a pair or something like that. Yeah.
All right, our buddy Paul here from Canada wants to know, where can I get an Ely garden hose nozzle if he's in Canada? Do they ship to Canada?
They probably do. I wonder if they'd private label for us. I don't think I've ever asked them that. Because they won't sell through retail distribution, but I wonder if they'd private label. I should call them and ask them.
Write that down. All right, let's see. Maurizio wants to know, considering only manual cars, would you agree, or what do you think, that the BMW M2 competition is the best buy on the market right now for under 100K?
No. The car sounds terrible. It's a fart machine. And it's got a big, fat, dirty diaper on the back. I mean, you can fix that with an exhaust. But no, I would say M2 N55 version of the car I would much prefer. I mean, it is promising that now you have Active Auto Work has an anti-fart, or not an anti-fart, but an anti-crap sounding equal length exhaust. But yeah, I just don't like the competition. Just don't like it. S55 engine pulls like a freight train, but man, so many negative side effects to that thing. I don't know what would be.
We have a question here that popped up in the chat. This comes up in emails fairly often. Kyle and I were just talking about that this week. What would your recommendation be for best pressure washer for both home and car? So somebody's going to do maybe light pressure washing on their house, their porch, their driveway.
Again, I argue this, and lots of people do it, but like it just depends on what kind of work you're trying to accomplish here. If you're going to try to do like a decent-sized driveway, doing it with any electric pressure washer is kind of a waste of time. You want a big old honking gas. You want to get like 2,500 or 3,000 psi and 4 or 5 gallons a minute. This is why I just hire somebody to do that, because I don't want to store these giant pressure washers around to pressure wash every once in a while. But an 1122 would be the best application for that, because the 1122 with the stock gun and wand, they also have a dirt killer or a turbo nozzle that you can use to kind of creates effective pressure without having extra pressure. But the 1122 is the perfect machine for that, other than the fact that it's 80 pounds, but it's on wheels and you kind of roll it around. And so that's why I think getting the Kranzle 1122, adding in the extra quick disconnect kit, as well as doing the OG spec package, so you get the Mosmatic gun wand and then all the quick disconnects for the Kranzle gun wand. That's the best combination, because trying to use a freaking Karcher or a Sunjoe or some other bull crap around the house is a waste of time. Even if you want to just kind of blow some dirt off of stuff, I guess you're fine. But if you want to like remove algae off a deck or like get any kind of work done and you want it to take the rest of your life, I know this because I used to, when I was a janitor back in the old days, I used to have to pressure wash stuff with a big giant honking pressure washer. And it would take hours and hours and hours of pressure washing like the decks and stuff around the clubhouse, and that was like a big giant gas machine that I was using. I just don't think you want that. So the 1122 is going to be the best machine for that application.
All right, there's some love here in the chat for SVS home theater audio. Do you have any experience with SVS?
Well, that's what I said. Yeah, SVS.
Okay, gotcha.
Is what I'm saying. They have decent subwoofers, and it's kind of like they're in like the ilk of Polk audio before, back in the old day before Polk became so mainstream and big, or Klipsch became so mainstream or big. That's what they remind me of. With that, SVS kind of fits that category. Started out as like, I think from what I could tell, like an internet heavy, to now they have a full speaker line. They just look nice. They're decent looking speakers. I haven't heard them though.
All right, we have a comment here in the chat from Epiphany Detailing. Just wanted to give props to the OG crew. Put in a small order yesterday, and 25 minutes later got the shipping notice. That's good. Yeah, we're on top of things now.
We're good right now. Yeah, I think we are very prepared for Black Friday and the holiday season, and then come the spring when we get hit again. I think we are extremely prepared. But I'm gonna create some chaos, and I'm gonna want us to, even stuff that as it runs out of inventory, I want people to still be able to buy it, and we'll figure out where the dust settles. That's what we're gonna do.
All right, speaking of that, Brandon here in the chat says, Matt just placed my order for the OG pressure washer setup. Can't wait to get it. Any sale plans for Black Friday? So we can mention that again. 10% off, free shipping, orders over $100.
We'll see if Rupes allows us to involve them again. And it won't be, there'll just be free shipping on Milwaukee, because there's not enough margin on that stuff.
Yeah, there's a few exceptions there on stuff we just have really thin margins on, but
yeah,
most of the other stuff, gallons and of everything. CJ says, I have the original Griot's 6-inch polisher.
Mm-hmm.
Should I keep it and get a 3-inch and or nano, or sell the Griot's and get a Rupes 5-inch for improving my polishing process?
I would probably add on to that first, especially since you're probably pretty used to it. So I would add on to that with a 3-inch, and then get it like a nano 1-inch, and then replace your Griot's is the way I would recommend you do that. And then you'd get the LHR 15 Mark III. Would be my progressive steps. So I would get the Flex XFE 7, the 12 millimeter 3-inch. I think it's better than the Rupes, and then I would get the Rupes Nano, and then I would replace my Griot's.
All right, Connor wants to know, is there anything other than GSF on the Coke Kimi line that takes your eye? GS and FSE are great.
motor plast for engine bay. So I just sprayed it on the Civic. In fact, I want to go after the podcast, go look at it now. It's all dry. But nothing yet.
All right, quick aside question here from D. Mowry on Instagram. What was the OG-approved Beauty Rest mattress you talked about owning a few podcasts ago?
I'm not sure what the model number is. It's a hybrid memory foam / spring type. We bought one of those super fancy, whatever the most expensive Tempur-Pedic, and punted that thing out the door. 2 minutes later, it was terrible. I felt like it'd be like the most wonderful thing. You sit on it, and then you sink, and you sink, and then you stop, and it's like you're sleeping on a 2x4 underneath. And they're like, you just got to get used to it. Give it 60 days. I had 60 days of the worst sleep of my life. Like you sink in until your ribs hit plywood, and then you're laying on plywood. It's terrible. So the Beauty Rest one is awesome. It's like $3,800 or something like that from Mattress Firm. It's gray around the edge of it. I don't know. I'm not sure which model number it is, though.
All right. Let's see. Deagle456 wants to know, what's the latest on the wash and drive series? Is that going to begin soon? How's that going?
Yeah, we created our contact form, so they're building it out on the site. I don't know. I'm going to work on that next week and nail down how we're going to start doing that. It's going to be fun. We're going to do lots of, and it's going to be just continuing infinite series.
All right, Good Aura wants to know, hey, Matt, did you get your other set of spoon mirrors yet?
They should be here today, or Tuesday, I think the tracking showed. Yeah, yippee. Freaking bad move that was. It's funny, I was washing it. I'm glad I super glued it, because then when I washed the car, it was nice and sealed up. It's so funny, just sharing it with people and sharing that video, and I call myself a goof, and so then other people try to insult you calling you a goof. Come up with a different insult, bro. Come on. Yeah, it's
similar to that.
Yeah, that one on the right there, something like that. It's like Beauty Rest Elite or something.
Beauty Rest Black Callista extra firm mattress.
I don't think it's something like that.
Black Sonia luxury firm. I don't know, something in the Beauty Rest Black line, maybe.
Yeah, but it's not all black.
So thank you, Gas Tax Garage came in.
But I like that. It's like $3,800. You sleep on it for 10 years and punt it and get another one. It's not like $10,000 or something crazy,
All right, let's see. Manuel wants to know from Facebook. Hey, Matt, you mentioned in one of your Hexcasts about possibly getting an NSX. Is that still on your radar? And if so, which one?
Yeah, I'd like that. Not an old NSX, a new NSX. I think I'd like that car a lot. So when I have my garage built, so I'd like to have 458 Speciale. So in order of ranking, so if we hit 25 million in sales someday, my gift to myself is going to be a 997.2 GT3 RS 4.0. So that'd be like a car that I would have and keep theoretically. I would do I'd like then 458 Speciale. So those are the two like unicorn, very expensive, top of the food chain cars that I would think that I would want to own. So but those are like aspirational. But again, I don't use the term dream car because I'm not dreaming about anything. I'm gonna get it done. It's just I don't know when. And then I think. Having a GT3 Touring and then some sort of like really cool paint to sample special version of a GT3 Touring, and then so having GT4, GT3 RS, GT3 Touring, having those three cars in some new variant, whatever the newest variants of those are, and then so those three. 997 4.0, that's 4. 458 is 5. E92 M3 is 6. And then NSX would be 7. And I think that's it. But I don't know that I want 7 cars. So I don't.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and then I want to get a Tesla, so that way when I can't drive, it can like help keep me on the road, so I can turn on the, even though it's not full autopilot, maybe it'll help with my obsession, help with my phobias, that I'll be able to just turn, have the autopilot backing me up.
All right, Jeff on Instagram wants to know which exhaust is up next for the GT4.
I'm not sure which is going to come first, but I talked to John today. They're getting close to the rear section, so having a new, rear section exhaust. I'm going to do the valve controller stuff. I don't know. Whichever one comes in first.
All right, and then AJC on Instagram has a question along those lines. In your opinion, what is the best sounding car either ever made or that you've had personally? My vote goes to the Ferrari F355. So for someone who has lots of exhaust and has been through lots of exhaust, what are you looking for? What's the?
Yeah, but I haven't had a lot of cars. I mean, I still think I don't know. I still think the it's hard because like Corvettes and Camaros sound fantastic. They're just kind of short revving. They don't rev very high, and the GT350 sounds great, but it has some interesting character. E92 has this sort of great combination of an induction noise and exhaust. The old Hondas, the Type R, I think is a great sounding car. Even some of the Carrera S stuff sounds great from like the 991 generation and 997 generation. Yeah, I don't know about what's best, but yeah, I mean the like 458 sounds great, or like a 599 Maranello or whatever. For any Ferrari V12. So I don't know. I don't know the answer to that one. There's a lot of great sounding cars, just not a lot of modern great sounding cars.
All right. This question is from Matt on Facebook. I really enjoyed the interviews you did with the OG employees, particularly liked hearing Jeff's story and could relate to some of his life experiences. Would you ever consider doing interviews of some of the OG group members as sort of a get to know the OG community series?
Yeah, I like that idea. That's a good idea.
Maybe some of the moderators or those who are...
Yeah, I need to do also some... I need to do the, just get back on the employee trail here. So we'll get working on that again.
All right, Clayton on Facebook says, can you delve further into your experience with the latest press-all bottles, chemical resistances, pH resistances, etc.? I want to order several bottles when they arrive, but looking for some more direction on which style bottle is best in which applications.
I don't know. It seems like they're all pretty similar with anything detailing related, chemically. I mean, outside of maybe, I haven't tested Meguiar's, their wheel acid stuff, wheel brightener. But pretty much anything like eraser to me is probably the most caustic chemical we're using, or panel wipe. But that's just alcohol based, and alcohol I don't think is usually too complicated or too difficult on sprayers. I think I'm hoping that this version comes in great because we bought a lot of them, but I still don't think it's going to be quite perfect. I do have some IK stuff coming too as well, and we may carry both of them or one of them or neither of them. I don't know. But I talked to Jeff that owns the rag company about the IK stuff too. The biggest problem is the best bottle is the black one or the red one. I think the black one is the coolest, and has the chemical resistant straw and sprayer, and then has the weight, so it's sort of their flagship version. But we can't put a label on that. It's just too oblong, and we've tried many different variants, and there's just no way to really put labels on that because of the way the bottle's shaped. So unless Pressall can figure that out for me, some sort of label design, we'll be transitioning and doing a lot more of the other, what they call the household version. And so I think what we'll probably end up doing is creating a hybrid in the future where we have we take the chemical resistant and the flagship sprayer and put it on the other bottles. I shouldn't mention that because everybody's going, well, I want that. Well, we're not there yet. So, like I said in the beginning, this is going to take years to figure out. to get right. But I think, again, let's say you spend $100 on bottles. Now, if you're spending $100 on bottles and you can't spend $100 on bottles, don't. But let's say you buy $100 in bottles, which is what, like 8 bottles or 7 bottles. So you bought 7 bottles for $100, and we ship them out to you, and let's say 2 or 3 of them fail. I just can't imagine, just throw it away and just try again, get another one or not. People tend to be so darn quick to judge or react. I mean, they're with products, or have these expectations, and I'm telling you, don't expect much. We're working on this, and you guys that are willing to work on this and buy and try and punt, that 99% of you kept your mouth shut. It stresses me out when people are like, they're emailing me saying this isn't working, that isn't working, or what do you think about this or that? I'm like, I told you what we're getting into. Just buy it and leave it alone, because I already know what's going on with it. And we're working with a company in Germany to get this to happen, to fix it. And no other company on the planet is willing to do what they're doing. No other company on the planet has made a sprayer of their ilk in the world, other than maybe Quasar, but we know the Quasars aren't very good, and I could never get Quasar to play ball. I'd never talk to anyone. So you're gonna have to decide, do you want some sort of label on your bottle? If you do, then we're gonna have to do I think the translucent one is the coolest bottle, but again, it's not as ergonomic as the other bottle.
All right, we got a super chat here from our friend Brian Chu up in Brooklyn. He says, "Hey, Matt and Chris." That's it, just hey. So,
oh, thanks.
Thanks, Brian. We'll use that to get
waiting.
Matt a haircut soon. Epiphany Detailing says, "I'm a little confused about color lock. I have a minivan with all fake leather.
Mm-hmm.
Should I get cleaner, then protector, or shield?"
You should buy the fake leather product. They have a vegan leather or fake leather is just vinyl. So it's the vinyl stuff. I forget what it's called, but there's a protector and a cleaner. I don't think a protector is really even all that necessary, but it's where is it there?
Artificial leather protector?
Yeah. There's artificial leather cleaner and artificial leather protector. We have them both. That's what you want on the right there. Yeah.
Yeah, so we search color lock on Obsessed Garage, color lock, artificial leather protector, cleaner.
So you'll still want the brush, you'll still want the sponges, and you'll want the stuff there on the right-hand side.
All right, let's see. Here's a good question for you. From Ian3915 in the chat. What does the local community here in Lady Lake think of Obsessed Garage? Has it become well known in the area? Is Matt a local celebrity? Does Matt get recognized much?
No, and no.
Every time he goes to Walmart, they're all over him.
Nope, no one. Zippo. Yeah. Zero. There's a little bit of a contingent in the villages, but not many.
Yeah, people drive by every day and don't know we're here.
There's no car culture here at all. Orlando, definitely. Ocala, yeah, but not here. Not in the Lady Lake. It just kind of worked out perfectly, I guess.
Yeah, it's nice.
But I don't really care one way or the other. I'm not looking for adulation. I'm also not super private. So if there was people that were stopping me all the time, I wouldn't care. I think it'd be kind of cool. And so one way or another, it doesn't really matter to me. You want to come by here and stop in, just don't expect me to drop everything and come and hug you to death. But I love it when people can just come in, pull up a chair, and say what's up.
Yeah, we have people who stop by weekly. They just see the word garage, and they assume we do something with cars. So we've had people come in and ask all sorts of questions. Do you do this? Do you do this? We're like, no, we do nothing. Nothing. Not like that, anyway.
Can you change my transmission fluid?
Yeah.
No. Can you wash my car for me? No. Definitely not.
We had a nice lady stop in she lives in the villages. She's from Texas. She asked about getting her car detailed, and your mom told her, we don't really do that. We sell products. And she said, oh, okay. Well, I was looking, can you recommend anyone? And your mom said, yeah, but they're a little expensive. She said, oh, we used to get it for $25 in Texas.
Yeah.
Your mom was like, yeah, that's not, no.
Yeah. Detail, your definition of detail there, old lady's a little different than ours.
Yeah. Let's see. golf buggy culture. Excuse me. That's true. We had one here today. There was a golf cart. Somebody stopped by. Let's see. Here's a good question from RBP on Instagram. Question for Matt. What are your thoughts on blinking/strobe brake lights? I'm seeing them more and more, and they drive me absolutely insane. This topic has good rant potential, he says.
I don't even know what that is. So, I mean, of course, you've seen it on motorcycles, like the old man with a Tweety bird hanging from the from the handlebars. He's blasting some Skinnerd while he's driving down the road, and he was a dentist, but he's got his leathers on, and he has like 17 taillights. Make sure everybody can see him, like that's going to help. And it's flashing at you. Those are the only thing I've ever seen, and I've always thought, it's so stupid. On his trike, doesn't realize that everywhere he goes, that every motorcycle person's secretly making fun of him, thinking they're lesser than because he's driving on a tricycle.
All right, and Keat wants to know here, any chance for more G-Technic CSL/XO custom label bottles? Is that part of any giveaway coming up?
Yeah, I don't have anything scheduled, but yeah, we'll definitely be doing stuff in the future for sure.
That was a big hit in the last giveaway. Our Canadian friend here, Paul, says, Matt, can you look into having Ely Garden hose accessories in your store, like their hose reel? I would like to buy it from you.
I want it.
The cause.
Yeah, They pulled back from all e-com when I first started doing this. They allowed me to not sell the hose reel, but I was able to sell the jumper hoses and use their jumper hose because they're really the only reason was it was the only 6-foot hose, 6.5-foot hose I knew of, and of course they pulled all e-com because what happened is it got on all those goofy like Walmart.com and OfficeDepot.com and all those places just drive the price down, and they had no control over, and it went crazy. So they ended up having it where some retailers were selling it at a loss. It's just because the algorithms would kick in, and they're just trying to beat everybody by 10 cents.
All right, let's see. Oh, Steve chimed in the chat here with regard to those lights. I think it's a racing taillight. It flashes when braking for quicker attention when you're inches away from someone. So maybe on the track.
Yeah, I ain't doing that.
C-Mac says, okay, Ryan approved of the Civic, I guess one of your recent posts. What do you think his first car should be or would be?
I don't know. So he's 9. So we got, 6 years and a few months. So 6 years from now, things will change a little bit, but I would think that something like a E92 330 or something like that. Something that's something cool. It's one of those things where you're probably better off getting them something new that we don't have to deal with it. I think that's what happens with a lot of rich kids is they end up getting a car because their parents don't want to freaking deal with them getting some crappy old car that breaks down. They got to get fixed all the time. So and I don't think he's going to be like a renter. I wasn't, so I don't think he's going to be. So I don't know. He'll probably end up being pretty responsible. So I mean, something like that I think would be cool. But again, it doesn't have to be old. Maybe it's a new Civic or a new WRX or something like that. I don't know. It's so hard to fathom. Like, you buy your kid a $25,000 car or something like that, or $30,000 car just to keep so you don't freaking end up with annoyance. But then you buy him one car, and he has that car all the way through his first few years of of life outside of college and stuff like that. I don't know, and then you sort of bounce around and you make him work for it or whatever. How do you do that?
All right, let's see. Our friend Charlie here from the UK, who helped us with our labels, wants to know, how are the labels looking? Have you seen them?
Yeah, I think it looks great. One of the things I would like to do is for our very first sort of launch of that is when we do the Civic giveaway, I wanted to do like a special edition bead maker and do it in a press-all bottle. So it'd be our first attempt at bottling and putting in a press-all bottle with our new labels and all of that. And sign them and number them. It could be our first forte into into bottling in the fashion that I intend to bottle, which would be a co-branded a product. I think that would be something cool. I think we'd sell out of that really fast. So because the ultimate goal is to put them all in a really great bottle, put all the products in them with a great label.
All right, let's see. Quick detailing question here from Shu. I'm pronouncing that wrong, sorry. On Instagram, why do people polish their taillights? Doesn't this remove the UV coating? People seem to only be concerned with this on the headlights.
Yeah, taillights don't have that same thing on them. They're generally just plastic. So you can almost always polish your taillight and not have any kind of UV failure. So they're not coated the same, or whatever they put on the plastics of headlights is generally different type of plastic.
All right, Connor wants to know, does Matt ever feel pressure to produce videos for Inside the Hex?
No, not really. I just do it when I have something to say. The way I look at it is we're charging $60. If I'd made 2 videos this year, and if they were good videos, that would more than cover your cost, and we're making 100 videos, so I think that I feel good about it. I feel like the lessons that I'm learning and sharing, and the details that I'm sharing, if you had a business or aspired to have one, or you have a job or something like that, I feel like there's plenty of little nuggets in there that you more than get your money's worth.
All right, Epiphany Detailing has a good question here. In regards to press all bottles, any thoughts on having a list of which bottle type you would recommend for each chemical? Maybe in the item description or something like that.
See, I think that pretty much every chemical can work in any of the bottles. At least that's what I've experienced. That anything you're using for detailing is going to be less harsh than what these are all designed usually for, like, janitorial and stuff like that. Much bigger industries.
All right, DS wants to know, what is your thought on using Tarex to strip or prep the tire before dressing it? Ever used Tarex?
No, I don't think it works very well for that.
You use Terminator, right?
Yeah, the Tarex stuff just doesn't seem to do much to rubber for me. Or at least not do what I want it to do.
All right, we have from Alex here in Germany on Instagram. Hey, Matt. I'm curious if you're maybe interested in getting a 997 GT3 RS after having spent some time in the GT4. It seems that this car would fit your taste the most with its manual gearbox and higher pitch sounding GT engine that you prefer. Then he goes on to say, cars aside, I started watching your channel a few years ago. When you lived in your old house and watching the blue GT3 in the driveway, it's really nice to see what you've achieved with passion, dedication, and hard work. You're quite an inspiration for me, and I'm looking forward to see OG get bigger in the future. Greetings from Germany.
Yeah, one of my short-term plans here is my next car giveaway, I would like to, after the Civic, would be to get a 997 GT3 or GT3 RS, depending on how which car I find, and how confident I am that I can raise enough money to give away a $175,000 car. But the one of the reasons why I want to do that is then I'll have the car for 6 months or 5 months or however long I have it to sort of experience it and decide if it's something that I want to have in my arsenal, to have in my garage longer term. So I'm going to try to find a nice example, and then if I love it, then find like a world-class example and have it and keep it for a while or a long time.
All right, along those lines, Somar wants to know, is there a GT2 RS in your future, or are you sticking to the naturally aspirated?
Yeah, I don't like the GT2. I drove Sean's, and I just don't. The extra horsepower is cool, but I don't know. It doesn't sound good, and I mean, I get why people like it, but it's not my bag. I don't really care about going fast in a straight line.
All right, Torsion wants to know, do you ever grease your door hinges on your cars?
Generally not, but I was just thinking about that yesterday. Is that the GT4 has it's like a little when I open the door, so I probably have to grease something. But I never have before because all my darn cars are so new.
Timely question there, Torsion. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Jason wants to know here in the chat, what's the best way to get a tar glob out of the Incredipad? Washed the car and picked up a dime-sized glob of tar. Can I save it or punt it?
No, I think you probably could. I'd probably hit it with some Tarex and then wash it. So hit it with Tarex, wash it out. Hit it with more Tarex, get that blob out of there, and then I would think you could just then throw it in the washer and wash the rest of it out. And I think you'd be fine.
Do you wash Incredipad and stuff like that with Micro Restore as well, or just normal?
I just throw it in with all my other towels and wash them and dry them. I think drying's key because then it shakes out any sand or anything left in it.
All right. Rocky wants to know, can Halo ever be removed? Use
I don't know. No. You'd have to polish it. I don't know, man. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, what happens? Do you destroy the UV top coat, the UV... the protective coat on the PPF? I mean, in 2 years you're trying to remove it and reapply it. Halo will bond to itself, so theoretically you could just kind of polish it up, and then even if you didn't get all the halo off, you could add to it. So I think you'd be okay to do that, because I think Halo's layerable. I'll have to ask Billy. I'm pretty sure he puts 2 coats on.
I got a question here from Canem with regard to your desk setup. Do you ever use the uplift desk as a stand-up desk, or is it more just so you can make it level with the MSS Plus cabinets?
Sometimes we do. Kyle does. It's kind of become Kyle's desk. And I don't know, do you ever stand up on this desk?
No, I don't really do that. Hardly ever. I did on the old one out there. This was just so...
Yeah. Not usually, but once in a while.
Yeah, mine, I would sit down in the mornings and stand up in the afternoons, or vice versa.
What I'll usually do is I'll have my laptop, because a lot of time Kyle or Jeff or somebody's using my desk, what was my desk, just like this used to be my desk. And so I'll just stand on the Sonic cabinet in the back, that's at the stand-up height.
All right, let's see. What are Matt's opinions or thoughts on the Porsche 996?
Yeah, to me that just gets kind of old. I just think the 996 generation is not my favorite. A little too round, a little too dated. I would much rather have a 997. Or then you go back to some older air cooled, I guess. But yeah, the 996 is not my favorite.
All right, let's see. Brandon is using the chat here as a confessional. He says, I've always washed my microfiber towels in regular laundry detergent. Is that bad for them? I know I should buy the detergent from the store.
Well, I mean, if it has any kind of additives, then your microfiber grabs and holds on to that, and then it kind of renders them not as useful. If it has like fabric softener and things like that. So the problem is the fabric softener never washes out, and it just hoards onto it, and then your towels become sort of hydrophobic and not very nice to deal with. So that's why you always want to use some sort of free. You could use Draft, which is like the baby stuff, or Tide Free. But if you use anything that has an additive to, like fragrance or fabric softening, it just doesn't. Microfiber doesn't respond well. It'll still work, but your towels won't last as long.
All right, Joe wants to know: do you have any plans to sell Tornadors?
Yeah, I called them. They never called me back, so I guess, not leave a message. You fill out their contact form or something, but I'm pretty sure the owners and the people working for Tornador are a bunch of oldies, so they're probably not too tech savvy. So I'm going to have to try to get a hold of them and order them, because I have been using it a lot.
And then same guy here, Joe, in the chat wants to know, what color is the garage painted?
Harbor Gray. AC25 is the color code from Benjamin Moore. Flat. Always flat paint. Don't put some shiny crap. You're never going to wash your walls. So don't pretend like you are. So, well, if you do flat paint, you can't wash your walls. Who's washing their walls? Just freaking touch it up. Don't touch your walls. You won't have to do anything to them. How's that sound? Smack your kids. Teach them. Kick your dog. Tell them, freaking don't touch my walls, dog.
More great T-shirt ideas. Just flooding out here. Smack your kids.
Kick your dog.
Kick your dog. What's Richard wants to know, what's a ceramic plus PPF safe method to clean snow off my car in the winter?
What's the ceramic plus have to do? Well, I don't understand.
Ceramic, I guess it's ceramic coated and PPF.
Oh, what's a PPF, a car that has PPF and a ceramic coating on top. I mean, I would think you'd just have to wash it, with like warm water. is I think what you kind of have to do, and then you see get it off, and then with a with a pressure washer or a hose or something, and then and so usually you're doing that inside somewhere, or let the bring it inside, let the snow melt off, and then wash it like normal.
Yeah, we don't get a whole lot of snow here in Florida, so we don't have a
But
lot of
it's no
experience
different.
there.
I mean, dirt, mud, snow. It's all it's all the same procedure. You just don't want to scratch, and so you want to rinse and get off most of the bulk. And so think about it: if you have snow or dirt or mud, or this is why I argue with the guys in the UK. They say, "Well, you don't have the same dirt there." So dirt to me is dirt, and so that's where the rinse phase is. You rinse it off, and we're all starting in the same spot. So you rinse off whatever you can first, and if your car's coated, most of you should end up in pretty much the same position where you have some bonded contaminants that are still attached that you want to dislodge in the washing phase with a lubrication agent like soap. And so dirt is dirt, and so if you get it rinsed, then we're all starting in the same spot, so you should follow the same procedure.
All right, let's see. Our buddy Jeff out in Oregon had a question for me here. He says, Chris, what are your thoughts on the current gen Camry? Too much car or just right? I think they're awesome. Your parents were looking at a Camry for a little while there, but your mom didn't want to get one because she thought people would make fun of her for driving a Camry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be the car to get my daughter, Caroline. She might get a Camry. Good little car. Let's see. Oh, we got a super chat from Lexi. Sonax Perfect Finish. Would you recommend this for a polish, AIO, I don't know what that means.
All in one.
All in one, or both. Parentheses, one-step detail versus full correction. It'll be sealed after and need stripped.
Right. Well, remember, all in one would mean that it involves or has the sealant, which it doesn't. So it's not an all in one. But yeah, it's a good one-step product. You could put it on like Rupes yellow wool and get a little more cut out of it and still finish really nicely, and do that as a nice one step if you're doing a car that you're super concerned about having the perfect depth and clarity. But yeah, I mean, Perfect Finish is great for one step, and then you seal it or wax it afterwards. Just make sure you wipe it down or wash it after you're done. But a lot of times, more often than not, I'm just going to polish it one step with Perfect Finish.
All right, question from Brandon here related to bikes and such. Matt has the Raptor, so this may not apply, but what's his thoughts on roof racks for cargo and bike hauling? Does he hate them or only consider certain brands like Thule, Yakima, etc.? I've got an F30335i.
Yeah, I think it's super cool. I mean, when you do it right, I mean, you have to be super careful. I've never done it before, but I do think it's a cool thing. You get yourself a real nice, lightweight road bike that's attached with a suction cup and then a rack on top. Those are kind of cool. I mean, I'd be hard-pressed to do it often, but I think it's pretty neat when you see somebody, having that sort of utilitarian type use of their sports car. Like on my AB2 S2000, I put a trailer hitch on it so I could put my road bike behind it. I thought that looked super cool. So I think it's neat.
All right, let's see here. Jason wants to know, what are your initial impressions when it comes to Milwaukee bits and accessories?
So first thing, you guys are going to crap your brick when you see how much it costs. It's going to be like $1,000 for the set of whatever. But it's coming together. It's so hard to explain how complicated this is. Like, you'd think it'd be so simple. And if I explained it to you, it would sound simple because I've kind of worked through it. So just imagine you have a catalog with no pictures or anything, just a bunch of model numbers, and so you have this catalog that's like 60 pages or 50 pages or something like that, and then you got to start somewhere, and so then you have, we had 300 tools that I've kind of narrowed down to 52 or 53 tools, and so then you've got to figure out, well, what accessories do I want for each tool. And then it stresses me out because I know that Milwaukee doesn't have the best of everything, but this is what I have to work with to start. And then someday I'll get Bosch bits and Makita, Hex drive, whatever the bests are. But for now, I'm figuring out what would a whole package look like. And so then I had to figure out, okay, so when I'm buying it, what's the most efficient way to buy it? And so, like, you'd have, let's just say you have T10, 1 inch, 2 inch, 3.5 inch, and 6 inch. But then T20 or T15 only has 1 inch, 2 inch. They don't have a 3.5 inch, and they have a 6 inch. And then the T10, the 1 inch comes in a 250 bulk pack, is the biggest size that it comes in. But then the 2 inch only comes in a 1 pack, and then the 3.5 inch comes in a 25 pack, and the 6 inch comes as a 2 pack, or whatever. I'm just making up numbers here. And so go through all these different bits, and so I'm trying to figure out what's the most efficient way to buy it, because we're going to pull it all apart and put it all back together in some sort of organization system. And so then we get it all in this giant hodgepodge of boxes, and some will have 1 piece, and some will have 20 pieces, and some will have 250 pieces. So there's just freaking stuff everywhere. And so we had to unbox it all, and then there was 159 items. And those 159 items, we were missing 19 of them. A few of them never made it on the order list. Some of them were back ordered. Some of them just didn't show up. Some of them we got extras of. And then I'm trying to figure out, and then we're pulling apart and trying to figure out, okay, so which one of these, I've got all the bits figured out. What are we missing? What do we have? Which ones do we need 2 or 3 or 4 of? Which one do we need 1 or 2? Which bits would you need more? And then what I'm starting with is the everything set. Every bit that's made, every size, every specialty, every security bit, every part and piece in every size, 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 6 inch, what every insert drive, everything that we could possibly need, every socket. And then from there, I'm going to create this is the kit that's in my garage, but it's I think retail right now, it's like $880 or something like that without the tool grid. So imagine a $1,000 set of, this isn't drill bits. This is just bits for your torque wrench, or your impact, not torque wrench, your impacts. So, how many of those are we going to sell? And so from there, like, a lot of people may not want all the sockets and stuff. Maybe some people only want the bits. And so I'm going to figure out, different versions from there. But then I got to do saw blades, and then I've got to do jigsaw blades, and then I'm going to do hole saws and actual drill bits, and then what fits an impact and what fits a drill driver. And so, but I'm making progress.
There you go.
And I had to spend $15,000 just for those bits, as well as all the time. So I'm just in that little thing. I put a picture on Instagram. I'm 100 hours in, something like that, 150 man hours in, between all of my time spending shopping, figuring out, creating a spreadsheet, all your time confirming inventory, going back to them, all of the warehouse team helping pull it out and sort it out and count it. And so it's a big project. And I think that this is what our value proposition is, because, and I know that many naysayers, I could do that, and I'm telling you, you can't. You cannot. It's going to look so simple when I'm done with this, and people are going to really question the pricing, the value. Because it's just all I'm doing is I'm just putting all the retail prices and whatever their suggested manufacturer retail price is, and that's all I'm asking for. And I'm hoping, for all this time and money and risk I've taken, I'm hoping that people will pay for it, and the spread would pay for it. The spread on the margin on it, buying it in bulk, because I'm going to buy in 250 packs or 25 packs, and then we may only need 2. And so you're going to get the 250 pack pricing, but only have to buy 2 of them. Yeah, it's a big project. But imagine you had 2 drawers, and oh, by the way, we're going to design it so that it fits in the pack out as well. So it'll fit in the Milwaukee pack out, and we'll design it. I'm going to design it so that you can fit your drawer, so it can cut down to fit whatever drawer size you have. And so I'm going to do either foam inlays or tool grid. I haven't figured out exactly which I'm going to do yet. I'm going to send off the kit to the foam inlay company, and I'm going to send off the kit to tool grid. So I'm going to have that expense. sending, a couple $1,000 worth of kits out, and then I'm going to have the development cost of whatever those are, and I'm going to have the inventory cost of buying all the stuff, and we're sitting on it, and so it's going to cost me $100,000 to create this kit that I don't even know if anybody wants. I know I want it, and so chances are if I want it, other people will want it too. But it's a big undertaking. So go check out the photo on Instagram of my, what I'm doing there.
All right, Darren in the chat here says, you're looking at the Flex XFE 712.
Mm-hmm.
What pads and polishes did you use on the GT4?
Pads were microfiber cutting, so 3-inch Meguiar's microfiber cutting pad, and the new white Rupes finishing pad, and I used it with Jescar correction compound and Sonax Perfect Finish.
All right, Brian says, hey fellas, will there be any more OG pressure hose plugs available? Yes, our guy Kevin who does those is working on them. Those come in and go out pretty quickly, so he's one guy doing this by himself.
And the funnels are due.
Yep, the funnels,
they're going to be $105.
They'll be here in mid-November.
The $105 funnel, so
that's for the PF22, that little blue fancy funnel.
Yeah. We'll sell out of them instantly, guaranteed.
And more quick disconnect kits for that are also due in the next couple weeks.
Good.
Here's a good question from James. Chris and Matt, what is the perfect salad to you?
None.
Yeah, I've never eaten a salad in my life, so egg salad is the perfect salad to me.
Chicken salad.
Chicken salad.
Yeah.
Egg salad on white bread at the Masters.
Fruit salad.
Fruit salad, yeah, that's good too.
Is there any kind of dessert salad?
I don't think so. It's ambrosia. We talked about that before.
Whatever that is. That sounds disgusting. Whatever that is.
Yeah. It's still better than
that
sticky
sounds
salad.
Like white trash fancy all over. Let me have some tiramisu. Get out of here, you white trash fancy. How about at a restaurant, you get like some good ice cream. Get some Tillamook. Yeah, or give me just freaking a little thing of Ben and Jerry's. And freaking tiramisu bull crap. I'm telling you, I would love that. You go to Ruth's Chris, and you eat yourself a nice, delicious ribeye. The problem is, I never even finish the ribeye because you're eating all the appetizers and bread and all that crap. Because you usually go there starving. But let's say you ate a sensible dinner, and you're like, I would like a dessert. You say, well, what'd you like, sir? I would like some Ben and Jerry's cookie or some cookie dough ice cream. And they bring you out a fresh 1 pint of delicious ice cream. Or they bring you out a fresh package of double stuffed Oreos. I don't want some tiramisu. Get out of here. I don't want some creme brulee garbage. I don't want some peach cobbler. Get out of here with that junk. Bring me a freaking zebra cake. Put that on the menu. That's where we're going to start a new restaurant.
Matt's Chris Steakhouse.
Matt's and Chris's steakhouse. No salads.
No salads.
No filler. Yeah, we're not doing any fillers.
Steaks, potatoes,
mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Mac and cheese and some delicious desserts. Yeah. Some Publix chocolate chip cookies.
That's good.
Yep.
All right. Super chat here from Shoemaker. Matt, what cheap cars have you owned in the past? I've heard you discuss the original Civic and something about a Sunfire GT. What modifications did you throw at those cheap cars?
My first car was a Pontiac Sunfire, an 88 Pontiac Sunfire GT, and my next car was a 96 Chevy Beretta, but the V6. Not even the good one, and not even like the Z 24 or whatever they had. Those are the only two, and then from there I had the Civic, and then S2000, and then RSX, and then S2000, and M3 and S4, and so those are the only two that I had. And the only modifications I did to the Civic or the Sunfire and the Chevy was to chop the back seat out and try to jam a big giant subwoofer box in the back. That's about the only thing that I did.
We need pictures of that. You in your Iverson jersey, you're going down the road.
I wasn't Iverson jersey until the Civic days. That's when I started lifting weights, and I, wearing an Iverson jersey, no undershirt, super white, super jacked.
Oh man,
yeah, those are the days.
All right, Roper Crew says, just watched a video where you mentioned your scissor lift not absolutely needing to bolt down, except to keep it from moving.
Yeah, no, that's wrong. You need to bolt it down, otherwise you're gonna get killed.
There you go. Update on that, Roper Crew. So don't do that.
But I mean, think about it. A full rise. I mean, but think about a portable like the Sprinter or the Twin Bush, whatever the
S319.
Yeah. No, S319 was the big one, but the other one, the if you're not going to full rise, you probably still won't need to bolt it down either. But like a mid rise doesn't need to be bolted down at all. The only problem is that like if it's not set up right and you bump into it, you try to drive up on it and it scoots out from you. So you'd have to put it on some sort of like rubber or like gym flooring underneath there or something like that to keep it from sliding.
Kyle's chiming in the chat. S310E.
Yeah,
that's the one I picked up for Twin Bush.
Freaking peach cobbler. It's like vomit in a bowl. It's gross.
Oh, man. Salads and shredded lettuce. You guys just really hate lettuce.
Peach cobbler. Those are the same people who love shredded lettuce on their hoagies. It's freaking heathens. They're ridiculous. Can I have a side of tiramisu with my sloppy ice cream on the side? It's all melty. No. Bring me a fresh, hardened, delicious Ben & Jerry's ice cream. Or how about this? If I'm like Bruce Chris, just bring me the whole thing of Breyers, and I'll just choose to eat how much I want and throw the rest away. Don't serve it. Don't put it in some bowl. Bring me the whole half gallon. Right?
Yeah.
This is a new concept I'm coming up with right now as we speak. All we do is go to Publix Bakery and buy our food. It's going to be a new dessert thing.
Man.
Yeah, and we don't even take it out of the plastic container. Just bring it. You order cookies, they only come by the dozen, and I just hand them to you.
There you go.
Right from the
price is still on there. It's $3.99, but we just charge you $20.
It's for the ambiance. That's what people think I do with Obsessed Garage. They think I just go to Publix and buy some cookies and then just mark it up. Oh boy.
Funny.
That's what they're going to think with this whole Milwaukee thing. That's been a gosh darn, like I'm having to move earth to get this done. And they're going to think I just went to Publix because it looks so simple. And they had the idea years ago, and it looks so simple. And all you do is just put the sticker on it. And then, Milwaukee will go and create that kit and start selling it after I do all the work. And then they'll use it to sell to everybody else, and then they'll sell it at 15% off and free shipping, and because they're in the 5 minutes from going out of business every month.
All right.
I'm done. I quit.
Yeah, a couple more good questions here, then we'll go get some peach cobbler. Matt, I may not have searched hard enough in your video content. This is from Clark in the chat, but do you have any detailing tips for motorcycles? I recently coated my Ninja with CSL Exo and feel like a Rupes Nano is a must. Yeah,
I'm sure you need something smaller. And you need a good metal polish, I would think, too, for most motorcycles. You need something which I've never really done a whole lot of work on, is finding a good metal polish. And then, I think, but the concept is still the same. It's just a lot smaller.
All right, let's see. And then Chris Kim says here at the end, Obsessed Garage, Publix crap at Whole Foods prices. That's pretty good.
Oh, we could shop at Whole Foods, too, and... delicious, obsessed dining.
Just mark it up.
Unobsessed dining. Freaking tiramisu, that gets me every time. And like all the restaurants, like have some originality. It's the same thing that drives me. I've mentioned this before. It drives me crazy. They like college football. Now they all do this. Like, get your own thing. Like, why does one guy came up with that? He's the only original, and now everybody else copies it. Like, it can't be the best way to do it. It's just
like the turnover chain. Everybody's got a turnover chain.
Yeah, get your own thing. It's like one. People are so unoriginal. It's so fascinating to me. What was the original thing I was talking about? I don't even know. Copying desserts.
Yeah.
Why does every place have a dessert that sucks on the menu? And then all the girls get, oh, this is so good. No, it isn't. And your haircut sucks too. You know that? Didn't we have that comment before? Didn't we have the discussion before that like girls get their hair cut and then every other girl needs to tell them how their haircut looks great? But the only reason they're telling me the haircut looks great because it looks terrible.
Yeah.
Like, no one ever comments on your haircut if it looks good. They always only comment if it looks terrible. And so everybody's like, oh, my gosh, your hair looks so great. I just want to chime in and say, this looks terrible. Why did you do that? It looks so much better before.
So we just lost both girls who were listening. Oh, man. All right, one final question here from James in the chat. I have a GT4. I'm thinking of PPFing. Should I just apply to the front, or would you suggest full PPF?
I mean, full is kind of overkill, but I mean, I'll say if you're going, then go for it. But it's so much money that you're going to have to rip off and redo in a couple of years. This whole, 7-year warranty is bullcrap, you know? It's like 2.5 years, and you're going to hate it and want to pull it off and do it again, so you're another 7 Gs in to do it all over again. That's the main reason why you do the high-impact areas, because of the cost. But if cost is not an object, then do the whole thing.
All right, so there's one other thing, but this is it's an Instagram question. I'll just email it to you because this is something that I think you'll enjoy. But thank you, everybody, for joining us today.
Signing off.
Next week is a live stream.
I need some water.
What's the live stream of next week?
I'm going to go through the home design the garage and explain all the products and all the things I've learned thus far, and all the things I'm thinking about.
There you go.
See ya. I need some water. Would have been great if I had some water sitting here, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm. If only.